Good morning, Reds. How are we doing? Sam here, live on United People's TV on Thursday, the morning after the night before. Manchester United's 1-1 draw against Young Boys. It was a dead rubber game, but it was a game where Ralf Rangnick took a big risk, in my opinion. And I think it was a risk which paid off. He changed the whole team, 11 players in and out, and he learned a lot about that squad. And given that he's only been in the job a week, that was his priority. He chose that over winning. I said in my match reaction yesterday, I'm going to go into it in a bit more detail this morning here, live with you on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm going to take a look at everything that Ralf Rangnick actually said about the game. I'm going to take a look at everything that happened with Donny van der Beek, everything that happened with Wan Bissaka. We're going to be speaking about Manchester United's round of 16 opponents in the Champions League. Who could we get? The draw is coming up on Monday. I'm going to be here live on Monday with that. But how are you all doing, man? Nice to see you all. Robin, I can see you down there in the comments. Save the Jungle. Mallory, good morning to you on Facebook. John, Samuel, Festus, Ian. Hey, look, congrats to those players making the debuts. Absolutely, man. But look, good morning to all of you. How are you feeling about the game last night? You let me know in the comments below. I'm going to run through, importantly, all the comments from Rangnick himself. It doesn't really matter whether we're annoyed or not. It matters what he thinks about the game. And that's what I'm going to focus on in this stream here. Ian, good morning to you. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. What are you saying? Anyone having doubts about Rangnick's experience and know-how? It was for all to see last night. This would not have happened under Ole. And I love you, Ole. Ian, I think last night it was, as I said, it was a big risk from Rangnick. Given the buzz, given the buzz that once I've got to apologise to Andy because you got a hangover, mate. Get over yourself. I'm joking. I won't shout like that. I hope you're all right. But look, as I said, last night was a game where after the 1-0 against Crystal Palace, Rangnick would have been forgiven, right, for just playing a strong 11, playing Ronaldo, playing Sancho, trying to keep the momentum up through performances and wins, right? Nothing better than a couple of big wins under your belt is in your first 2 games in charge. But no, he chose to use the squad. Last night, Ronaldo wasn't even in the squad. Neither was Sancho. Neither was Rashford. Neither was Fred. Neither was McTominay. Neither was the majority of the 11 he started against Crystal Palace. And he learned so much from that it's made him a better coach for Manchester United because of it. Night Owl, what are you saying here? Glad to see he can use Van der Beek more. And honestly, he surprised me with the new squad. I think he surprised everyone. If you joined me yesterday in my pre-match show in the Arms, I was like, what is that starting 11? What is that formation? I've got absolutely no idea what's going on here. I had no idea. I seriously had no idea. Until the game started, I was like, all right, okay. Well, we kind of knew beforehand, didn't we? We took a look at the team. We were like, Matic is going to be playing at centre-back. He won't be playing there that often, but it was his way of, he'd rather have given a full rest to Fred and McTominay and then just played Matic as a centre-back than keep Fred and McTominay in. That was his choice. There's a comment here from Patrick saying, so boring yesterday. Now, that's a comment I would boring might be the right. No, I don't think boring is the right way to describe that at all. In fact, first 40 minutes, very good football. First 40 minutes, we played like we did against Crystal Palace in the first half. Controlled, incisive, pressing with intensity, winning the ball high up the pitch. The defensive line was quite high. Henderson coming out as a sweeper keeper. First 40 minutes, I've got 0 complaints, man. 0 complaints. It was young boys against young boys, really. And, of course, it changed in the last 5 minutes of that first half. I'll run through Rangnick's comments. And as the second half went on, the game really flattened. Really, really flattened. And that point, yeah, you can call it boring from that point if you want. But the ultimate reality is we rested our entire team. We gave debuts to Zidane Iqbal, the first British South Asian representation. I think the first British-born South represent. Let me get that up for you because this is quite an important moment for him. He is the first British South Asian to play for Manchester United with Iraqi and Pakistani heritage. Big up to you, Zidane Iqbal, for being that man and being the first to do that. I'm sure you won't be the last, but that was a fantastic moment for him and a fantastic, as I said in my match reaction, think what you want about Robbie Savage, but it was heartwarming to hear a dad introducing his son commentating for his debut at Old Trafford. That was cool. I enjoyed that moment. And I enjoyed, I'm going to be speaking about the teenagers in this stream. All right, I'm going to be speaking about Iqbal. I'm going to be speaking about Savage. I'm going to be speaking about Ted and Menge, who for me really, really impressed me yesterday. But the thing I wanted to see yesterday, right? I said this before the game. I said the only thing I want to see against Young Boys is a continuation. Is no matter how many changes we were making, right? I wanted to see some sort of continuation of the style and the patterns that we saw against Crystal Palace. And we saw that for the first 40 minutes. Completely. The same style, the same intensity, winning the ball high up the pitch. And just like we did against Crystal Palace, we made 3 or 4, clear-cut chances. We should have been 2-0 up. The Mata one especially. Ahmad went through, decided to try and sweep on his right foot and then played it back to Lingard, I think, and that was a mess up. That was a clear-cut chance. We could have and should have been 2-0 up by the time that they scored. But that's because we weren't being clinical enough. That's exactly what happened in the first game against Crystal Palace. Should have been 2-3 up by half-time. We're creating a lot of chances at the moment. I'm going to go down here and read a few of your comments out. And then what we're going to do together, we'll run through all the comments from Ralf Rangnick himself and see what he thought about the game, because that's really, really important. Donny made the most tackles and passed the most. My boy Donny. Or I'm going to be speaking about Donny, and it was a mixed bag in my opinion from Donny van der Beek. Bright, you're saying, Sam, I think Henderson should be given enough game time. He will not be going out on loan. I think he could be going out on loan, and I think the fact that Tom Heaton came on to make his debut might be a bit of a nod towards that. He wants to see everybody in action, and if that includes Henderson leaving on loan, which I think would be a very good thing, if Heaton's going to be a good backup, fine by me. Let's go down here. Beautiful words from Robbie, says David. Yeah, man, they were. Figo saying, what do you mean the risk pays off? The risk yesterday was that 11, because they hadn't played together. It was a really young team. We could have got steamrolled last night. Really could have got steamrolled. If it didn't work out, we conceded early. Remember, the young boys were chasing European football, playing with a full 11, full strength 11. We could have come out of that with like a 2-3-1 loss to young boys. And that would have been a risky move. That was a risky move from Rangnick, because that would have deflated the excitement that existed after Crystal Palace. But instead, it was a 1-1 draw, which really doesn't really change much. Gave all the youngsters an opportunity. And more importantly than all of that, it gave Ralf Rangnick a full look at the squad he's got in front of him. And he now has made some decisions about the players who are good enough, I think, after that performance last night. And I'm going to get into them. Nobody impressed me, says Mike Dordan. Well, you're not in the chipper mood, Mike. It's 16 days to Christmas. Look, the Grinch is telling you. I was on that side. Whoops. Old Grinch is letting you know it's 16 days to Christmas. You've got to get in that sweet festive spirit, man. Come on. At least they played better than Arsenal, says Desto. Well, that's not bloody hard, is it? Jonathan, you're saying, let's not forget that was a scratch team in a dead rubber. And it's Swiss champions after all. People expecting too much. It was an opportunity to assess the squad. As I said, that's what he chose. He chose. If we gave a crap about winning that game yesterday, would our bench really have been Iqbal, Savage, Mengi, Kovar, Heaton, and Shoretire? You think we might have had someone like Ronaldo on the bench, or Sancho, or Rashford, somebody with experience in changing a game? No. Rangnick pushed all that to the side and said, that's just not important tonight. Everybody else, you rest, you go to the sauna, go and do what you want for the evening. Just chill. Tonight is all about me understanding and learning about this squad. And for me, it's very good coaching. Very, very good coaching. It was a choice he made. And I think it's going to benefit Manchester United in the course of the season because of it. There was a lot of pressure on that team, says Andy, and I thought they handled it very well. Yeah, man, it might have been a dead rubber game, but it's still Manchester United in the Champions League at Old Trafford under the floodlights in front of 75,000 people. And I thought a lot of those players came out quite well. Not everybody did. I'm going to be speaking about those now. So look, thank you all very much for your comments. Keep firing in your comments. You know what I try and say here on United People's TV. Genuinely, I make it interactive. I try and answer as many of your comments as possible. As members on YouTube and Facebook, you get a priority. If I see your comments, I'm going to read your comments out first. Hey, look, don't get angry. It's one of the perks of being a member of the community. Like Stefan here. What are you saying, my buddy? You're from Switzerland, aren't you? If I remember. In my opinion, Wan Bissaka was by far the worst player on the pitch. He is injured now, but I think he will have a hard time. I'm going to be speaking about Wan Bissaka, and yeah, if yesterday was a chance for Rangnick to really get to know his squad, Wan Bissaka did himself absolutely no favours. Right, let's go to see what Rangnick had to say. Let's run through them and let's see the points that he's discussing. Right, let's go. Rangnick, this is what he said. I was fully aware before the game that this team, they hadn't played together. Not only with regards to the formation, but also as a team. The first half hour, I think we did quite okay. We had a few unforced errors, even in those 30 minutes. I thought we did more than okay in that first 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I thought we did fantastic. Given that we have made 11 changes, as I said, making rotation normally is 3, 4 players, 3, maybe 5 players go out of the team. You keep a bit of a spine from the previous team. You keep the experience. You get the youth in. Yeah, you take a risk, but you don't do 11 players. That's just, well, it's just taking a massive risk. And we took that massive risk. And as I said, I think it paid off. I don't think we were completely played off the park. We should have been like 3-0 up, I think, by the time they scored. For sure. It's just Rangnick was a bit annoyed here, though. He said, after we conceded the equaliser, we were not defending high enough, not proactive enough, and we could have conceded 2 or 3 goals. And he's absolutely spot on there. Manchester United in the last 5, from Donny van de Beek and Wan Bissaka's mistake that led to the goal, we just sort of like kind of collapsed in on ourselves, didn't we? It could have been 2, it could have been 3. And yeah, we were kind of lucky it wasn't. Eric Bailly doing mad things. Like, I was going to pull this up later on, but I'll put it up now. This absolutely cracked me up. Where is it? Is that one? No, it's not that one. It's that one here. I'm going to keep it nice and small so I don't get slapped down for copyright. But Eric Bailly, or Booker T, as he might now be known, he's absolutely... He didn't just do this once, did he? He did it more than once. He did it again when he was... when it was like fired across the box, when it could have been 2-0 before halftime, fired across the box and he just like stuck a leg out and then did another spinneroonie. Mate, the guy's mad. The guy is mad. Yesterday, you could probably argue that he was man of the match. I gave it to Mason Greenwood. But Eric Bailly is just, he's good fun. I'd love to go on a night out and get pissed with Eric Bailly. I think that'll be a great night out. Like with Guido Schaefer as well. I'm definitely getting Guido on again at some point soon. The reaction, I want to say thank you to the reaction and the comments that all of you left on that video. Because, yeah, he clearly is he's a really good guy to speak to. He's good friends with Ralf Rangnick. And, yeah, I think he's going to be a good contact to have across this season. Maybe get some inside scoops. Right. Let's move on to what else. Danny, we're all laughing down here. Booker T. It is Booker T. And, mate, he's a beast. We all know what Eric Bailly is, right? When Eric Bailly is good, he's great. When Eric Bailly is bad, he makes your head disappear into your hands like that. Oh, no. He's done it again. But fair play, Bailly. I thought he played well yesterday. Let's move on here. Now, this is where Rangnick was talking about what he was annoyed about, right? Because it wasn't a perfect performance by any stretch of the imagination. At all. Certainly not that last 5 minutes of the first half. What was a bit annoying was the way we gave the goal away. We played too many balls into the first line of their pressing area. We could have cleared the ball easily. Whenever we played the ball into the second or third line, we were always dangerous. Now, what does he mean when he's speaking about that? What I'll do, actually, let me quickly pull up. Let's pull up the tactics board. Here we go. Was this the team that started? I think, yeah, this was the team that started. So what Rangnick is talking about there is that Manchester United were playing out from the back with the ball and we got caught here. This is where we got caught. It was Van der Beek. If we pull Van der Beek over here and it was Wan Bissaka, I think he was trying to... I think what was happening was Van der Beek was trying to pass it into Wan Bissaka there. Just with a little short pass. Got caught. Got intercepted. Take it on. Bam. What a finish. Not with Wan Bissaka. I don't think he scored a goal. He definitely didn't score a goal. Great goal from... great finish. But a bad goal to concede. Ultimately, the man who was probably most responsible for that goal was Donny van de Beek. It was a very poor pass from him. It really was. It was bad from Wan Bissaka with the header in the first place, but Van der Beek's got to be so much better than that. And when you're playing inside that number 6 role, you can't make those sorts of mistakes. So let me know in the comments, what your opinions are on Donny van de Beek's performance yesterday. Because I'm going to skip on. I was going to skip onto it now, but I'll say it here. This is what he said about his involvement in the goal. Maybe I should kick it away. I didn't do that. I take responsibility for that. After that, it was a little bit difficult. We didn't get enough pressure on them, and we lost too many balls. So what Rangnick was talking about with his reaction to that game, to that moment here, is what was a bit annoying. He said was the goal we gave away, and what else he said. I told them before the game that they still played in that situation. A 5-meter pass, they were just waiting for the ball. It was more or less a pressing invitation that we sent. So he's got those pressing triggers that he's trying to install into these players. He's saying, what are you doing? You gave young boys the pressing trigger. And they did it because it was two players who were static and a ball going between them. You know that if you nip in and you get it, boom. That's exactly what young boys did for the goal. But I'm going to go down to the comments here and read out your opinions on how you think Donny van de Beek played. Let's go down here. Stefan, you're saying, I thought he played well, started well, but it was a little bit too hectic for me. Let's have a look. Colin, you say, actually, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Matic in that one. Matic should have cleared his lines instead of passing it to Donny. I would say it's probably both of them. Yeah, Matic, you could argue that Matic was partly responsible for passing it into Van de Beek in a crowded area. But Manchester United are so bad at playing it out from the back, aren't we? Stu saying, as much as I hate a player apologising, both him and Ahmad's apologies seem sincere and not PR driven. Yeah, I do agree with that. Ahmad was basically saying, I'm so sorry that I missed that chance. I was like, Ahmad, bro, come on. Jeez, don't worry about that. Anthony, you don't think that he shined yesterday. Benjamin, you think he's more of a box-to-box. Sarthak, you think that he was okay. Donny looked rusty, says Matry. He tried a lot more than Fred. I'm not sure about that. Donny van de Beek, for me, had a mixed bag yesterday. A mixed bag. It depends which part you wanted to focus on. For me, he didn't play Fred out of the team in any way, shape, or form. And there's still the argument to be had over McTominay and Donny van de Beek. Out of possession, Van de Beek is more of a risk than McTominay is. In possession, Van de Beek is 10 times the player that McTominay will ever be. And it depends what your focus is. If you're looking at the C word, and that's control, McTominay is probably going to give you more control inside those areas of the pitch. And that's probably the truth, right? I think Donny van de Beek, people keep talking about him as a number 6, about a double pivot midfielder. I mean, Jesus Christ, I spoke about it enough. But I don't know. It strikes me that he's probably going to get more chances as one of those 2 number 8s. The 2, if you're looking at the 4-2-2, that middle 2, between the 2 central midfielders, between the 2 strikers, maybe that's where we're going to see Donny more often. I don't think yesterday was a performance which puts him out of the equation in any way, shape or form. But I don't think it was a performance where he really took that opportunity, like taking the ball by its horns. I genuinely thought Mata played better than Van de Beek. Do you think I'm wrong in saying that? Or do you think I'm over the top? Let me know what you think about that. But if I was looking at that starting central midfield 2 and I was looking at Van de Beek and I was looking at Mata, I would have expected to see more from Van de Beek than I saw from Mata. And Mata took me by surprise. Well done from him. I thought he played quite well. Let me go down here and see what you're saying. Tayyab saying all McTominay does is pass it back. I mean, that's a lie. Remember the game against West Ham, that ball he played through to Ronaldo? He does have a passing range on him, but it's not that passing. McTominay's capable of those like cross-field passes, the switches of play. Very good at that. What he's not as good at is those quick triangles. Bam, 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 bam. Short one-touch football. Bam, bam, bam. Moving it around. That's what Van de Beek is far more naturally better at. Mata was a passenger. No, Donny was better. Mata was horrible last night. Mata was class. Mata was horrible. There you go. Amazing, isn't it? They thought, look, neither of them are going to start in central midfield for Manchester United in the Premier League against Norwich. Mata's never going to start in the Premier League, no matter who it is, in central midfield. Donny van de Beek might do. He may well do, but maybe there's a conversation here to be said about the fact that maybe that's not his best position and that Donny van de Beek would be better suited playing alongside Bruno in one of those attacking midfield positions rather than the midfield 2. Hey, look, let's see. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Mata was not horrible. Isn't it weird how people can see football so differently? To say Mata was... Wan Bissaka was horrible. Mata was not horrible against young boys. I mean, we were never going to have the most incredible midfield with Mata and Van de Beek alongside each other. But look, yeah, if we're speaking about Wan Bissaka, I hope he's all right. He went off on a stretcher yesterday, collided with the advertising hoardings, went down with a sliding tackle and flew into him. And Rangnick was speaking about him after the game. He said, look, he got 2 knocks. He got 1 knock on his wrist, 1 knock on his, what was it, ankle? I don't know what was it, his face? I don't know. Anyway, he got a double knock. So Wan Bissaka, injury-wise, is probably ruled out of the game against Norwich. But realistically, even if he wasn't injured, I don't think Wan Bissaka is getting anywhere near this first team right now. Wan Bissaka yesterday, out of all of the starting 11, it was about Shaw and it was about Wan Bissaka, really, wasn't it? Those were the two key players that we wanted to look at and say, right, okay, prove to me that, if me being Rangnick, prove to me that you're capable, because Tellers is in form right now, Dalot's in form. You two have got to show me that you're capable and ready for this first team. Shaw got an assist within 10 minutes. Thought Shaw, after that, I thought Shaw played okay yesterday. Okay, nothing special, but to get an assist within 10 minutes, very, very good. Very good for he was. Overall, I would probably give Shaw like a 6, but a middling ground, a 6 out of 10, like a decent 6 out of 10. Wan Bissaka, my. He's really. This is the first time that Wan Bissaka has had competition for his spot at right back. Last season, I think he played the second most amount of games for Manchester United. Started the second most amount of games, and he had good games and he had bad games. But Dalot's come in, and I said it in my match reaction yesterday, right? I said this. I said, with Wan Bissaka and Dalot, in the last couple of games, Dalot is somebody who we know has natural ability going forward. But we've always said, Dalot, man, what he's got to do is improve defensively. Because as good as he can be going forward, there's just too many weaknesses. And we look at the game against Villarreal at Old Trafford, we're like, there you go, that's the weakness of Dalot. And then you look at Wan Bissaka, somebody who defensively is in the conversation for the best one-on-one defender in Europe, right? Yesterday, we didn't even see that. And in the same way that Dalot has kept his ability going forward, he's wrapped that round, improving massively defensively. Really good positioning, really good tackling in the last couple of games. Dalot's showing far more to his game. And what we needed to see there against Young Boys was Wan Bissaka just keeping his defensive stuff spot on, as he always does, but then improving going forward. And we did not see that at all. It really was, in my opinion, a really bad performance from Wan Bissaka. And there's such huge question marks over his future at Manchester United. I would probably say he's at risk. Definitely at risk, because the Rangnick system relies on the fullbacks for the width and a bit of attacking verve. Without those fullbacks, playing the 4-2-2 will force Manchester United to be far too narrow, and teams can just stay compact because they know there's no danger from overlapping fullbacks. So Wan Bissaka, for me, real question marks about him, and that's what I'm saying. That's why this was a risk that paid off for Ralf Rangnick, because he could have played a lot there yesterday. He probably would have had another barnstorming performance. He's in great form, hot streak. But instead, he learned about Wan Bissaka. He learned about his strengths. He learned about his weaknesses. He learned about his confidence. He learned about what he offers to the team, all different to Dalot. That's what he did, and he can now come into training this morning, Rangnick, with the full scope of his squad and say, I've seen pretty much every single one of these players play in my system in a competitive game of football. Therefore, as a manager, I can make a proper decision based on evidence, based on knowledge, as to who's working and who isn't working. There's no favourites. As I told you, the first thing I said about Rangnick when he came in, people were like, strip Maguire the captaincy. I said, he's not going to strip Maguire the captaincy. He's going to give everyone a level playing field. And he has given everyone a level playing field. That's what that game was yesterday, the level playing field. Here's your opportunity, guys. Show me you deserve a place in his first team. Some people did. I don't think Wan Bissaka did. I'm going to go down to the comments and read out a few of your comments on Wan Bissaka. Or you sent a super chat here. I didn't miss it, my buddy. I was going to keep it for now. Or I think you're talking about Van der Beek here. Said, playing with our first team and not fringe players, it's unfair. It's asking him to cook a fine dining meal with okay or shit ingredients. Give him a run and see. Yes, I would semi-agree with that. But as I said, I don't know. For example, Greenwood didn't play with all the first team players yesterday, and I thought Greenwood played very well. So why didn't Van der Beek do better? I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here with Van der Beek. I know so many of us want him to be the messiah of our midfield. But yesterday, in my opinion, I don't think he did overall enough with the opportunity that he was given, even if it was a younger team against young boys. Maybe I'm being unfair with the standards that I want him to be held to, but okay. Seth Lucky's coming in here and has obviously still been drinking from last night. So, Seth, I would go and have a coffee, my friend, because Bissaka, unfortunately, was not excellent at all. Let's go down here and let's see what you're saying. John, you're saying you're wrong, Sam. AWB is better than you think and more than capable of running with the ball. He just needs time to adapt to his formation. Hey, John, look, I think Wan Bissaka, for large parts of last season, was very good, but we know where his weaknesses are. And they were all on show yesterday. Really were. He needs to be better. The demands of a modern day fullback are now, look, first and foremost, I've always maintained this. I always want my fullbacks to be able to defend properly, right? That's the most important thing, in my opinion, for a fullback. But the reality is a modern day fullback has to be aggressive and going forward. And look, I'm going to pull this up for you. I'm going to pull a stat up, well, quite a few stats up for you in a second to show you what I'm talking about. But instead, I'm going to quickly go down here and see what you're saying about Donny van de Beek. Donny had all the best stats in the midfield. He was a victim of Mata and Lingard. Here's a thought, maybe Mata. No, don't you dare say that, T. Van de Beek is overrated because I think All might lose himself. I agree with that to a point, says Josh. Mata giving the ball away. He played in the midfield too, and Mata was poor with the defensive part. Donny was correcting the mistakes everyone was making around him. Look, something I think is true, right? As I think United fans, let's be honest, at this point, I think we're gonna give Donny far more leeway than most midfielders would get because we want to see him shine. Let's be objective and think about this fairly. That's true. I don't think he's the messiah of midfield. I also think he hasn't really been given the true opportunities. But saying that, like if you look at, I don't know, Donny van de Beek is such a strange argument. I think people go too intense on it. And I think it's because our midfield is not good. I think, look, if we sign Haidara in January, you think Donny van de Beek's going to get in that team? No, I don't think he will. I think he'll probably stay there as the backup. And if Pogba leaves, maybe he'll get more chance. But look, let's see what goes on with Donny van de Beek. Yesterday was an opportunity that, in my opinion, I don't think he took advantage of enough. I don't care if he was playing alongside Mata. I don't care if he was playing alongside Wan Bissaka in midfield or Greenwood or anybody. I wanted to see a bit more from Donny van de Beek. My opinion, you're entitled to yours. I don't think he did himself any negative favors. Although, yeah, as I said, that mistake for the goal was like, well, it's just poor. It's just poor from you. Yeah, cool. You could say that Matic put him into a poor position, but I would say, yeah, okay. And then Van de Beek made an even worse pass. So I don't think he did himself any favours with that performance yesterday. But I also agree with the sentiment that, Sam, it's a bit unfair to judge him when he's in a team with Mata and Matic at centre-back. You know, you've got to play him in the first team. Okay. But to get yourself into the first team, as a fringe player, you have to impress when you are given the opportunities. So it's like chicken or the egg. It depends which argument you want to have here. Because Scott McTominay and Fred work very well together as a partnership. You might not like it. It might be boring. We've all got angers towards Fred. But as a partnership out of possession, they work, man. It worked against Crystal Palace. Hell, we kept a clean sheet. We had control. It's a big C word. Big C word. And I think you would lose a little bit of that control by playing Fred and Van de Beek, even if it does mean that you're more aggressive going forward. But we didn't need that against Crystal Palace, did we? We created 3 or 4 golden opportunities with Fred and McTominay in midfield. Let's see what happens against Norwich. I don't know. It's a tough argument. No one, so many United fans are like, I can't be asked with Scott McTominay anymore. But at the same time, I personally don't think that Van de Beek has. It's a really hard argument to have because I can see there's justifications and arguments for both sides of the coin with him. You're kidding. McTominay had very. Come on, man. Why would you come with such silly comments like that? How? Of course he did. Manchester United were solid in midfield. We were, and I know this is what I mean. I think with Van de Beek and McTominay, so many United fans now overhype the good things that Donny van de Beek does and put him on a messiah level, and they underplay the good work that Scott McTominay does because they're fitting an agenda. All right, and I think there is an agenda that does exist in United fans now with Fred and McTominay. No, sorry, not Fred and McTominay and Van de Beek. But it is what it is, right? I thought, Chris, you think that Donny was better than Mata yesterday? That's fair enough. But I understand. Let's see what goes on with Donny this season. We all know that he might be leaving Manchester United in January anyway. So this might be a mute conversation. In 5 weeks, we might be talking about how he's gone on loan to somewhere else. It is what it is. Because as I said, Ant's put it right there. If Haidara comes in, you can kiss Donny van de Beek goodbye. He's not going to play for Manchester United. End of. So why are we investing this much into an argument here? It's not an argument, really. Donny's not a lone CDM. I think he's a player that needs good players around him, like Sancho and Bruno. Everybody needs the best players around them, right? That's the truth. Mikyas judged VDB with a good team and not with these youngsters. Hey, look, let's move on from Van der Beek. We'll be here all day going around in circles. But I know that Van der Beek is better than we saw yesterday. I know that Van der Beek deserves the opportunities to play with the first team, to play alongside Fred, to play behind Bruno, to play with Ronaldo at the pitch. I know he deserves that. But at the same time, he needed to show a little bit more yesterday than I think he did. But in the midfield, alongside Wan Bissaka, was that possible? I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. We'll be here all goddamn day. Anyway, going back to Wan Bissaka here, and I wanted to say one more thing. As I said, look, the modern day fullback is not just somebody who defends. It's somebody who goes forward. And this might be a confusing stat for you. I say stat. This is a graph here. The bottom axis here is key passes per 90. The further along the right-hand side it is, the better it is. And you've got successful defensive actions per 90. The higher it is, the better it is. So you basically want to be as far over towards the top right as possible, because that means you've got you do a lot of key passes per 90 and also a lot of defensive actions. So if you see here, I don't know who A. Robertson is, but he's probably one of the best there in. But look at Ethan Laird. This is what I want to speak about. Ethan Laird down here at Swansea. Up your performance levels, and Rangnick would love you. Ethan Laird's been doing very well at Swansea, and he really has shone inside the Championship. And when you've got someone like Dalot who's doing that well inside that sort of role, I think, look, Trent Alexander-Arnold has sort of changed the scope of what's expected of a fullback, because in reality, he's not a bloody fullback at all. His set-piece quality is ridiculous. He's more of a winger. Most fullbacks these days are wingers converted. So, yeah, Ethan Laird shining there. Wan Bissaka not playing well against young boys. Dalot doing very well so far in Manchester United's first team. It's a tough time here for Wan Bissaka. And as I said, Ethan Laird, I don't think we're going to bring him back on loan from Swansea. But we can't ignore him now. I've been sort of keeping an eye on his performances at Swansea. Maybe. Look, and you're saying Laird is a more complete player than Wan Bissaka. I said, click me up. I don't care. Hey, look, we all know about the qualities of Ethan Laird. But look, we'll see how he gets on this season. But it's just something to note. Wan Bissaka's position in this Manchester United squad is under threat. That's for sure. And I think that's very fair to say. And that's not an over-exaggeration from yesterday. That's just a reality and a truth. Let's go down here saying you can't impress when you're playing alongside rusty players. Well, Mason Greenwood would disagree with you. Aaron does not seem to fit his formation. I'm not going to make a judgment on whether or not any player fits the formation just now. But as I said, yesterday was a chance for so many players. And I personally disagree here that Mata was abysmal. Wan Bissaka was abysmal. Mata was not abysmal. But Mata's like 934, so it's not exactly hard to see him struggle inside that midfield, which requires so much movement. I said it all along that Mata won't fit the system. It's just the fact that he chose to rest. Ultimately, if Manchester United hadn't played 3 games in 7 days in the build-up to that game against Young Boys, I don't think we would have seen as much rotation. But ultimately, what we saw against Crystal Palace for the first half was brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant for Manchester United. Second half, we down the tempo a bit. Part of that is definitely due to fitness and the players actually being capable of maintaining that pace and that intensity. So that time off to last night, it should prove to be a really good thing coming into this game against Norwich. The players should be much fitter, like a full week's rest for most of our squad. That's going to put them in really good shape. So hopefully in the second half against Norwich, we should be able to see United going with a better intensity. But I'll tell you what, that game against Norwich, I know they are a crap team, but it's a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday. And they're much better under Dean Smith than they were under Daniel Farke. So it won't be as easy as I think people expect it to be. Mata was not as bad, says Victor, but he was playing the opposite. Has Mata ever played in central midfield for Manchester United? I don't know. Let's have a look. See what you're saying. Lingard was abysmal. You're all firing out huge words like abysmal, horrendous, horrible. Some players are bad for sure. Don't think there was that many abysmal players. Here's a nice little stat I wanted to bring up from yesterday. Manchester United featured 6 teenagers against Young Boys. Only the 5th time that's ever happened in a Champions League history. And the 2nd time by an English side. And I thought this was a cracking little photo. That's Ilanga, that's Mengi, and that's Greenwood. I'll tell you who really impressed me yesterday. And I'm going to be speaking about Mason Greenwood next. We got to speak about Mengi. Mengi came on for Luke Shaw on the 60th minute mark. And he, first of all, he's not a left back. Tenen Mengi is a centre back. That is his position. But I thought he played pretty damn well. Tenen Mengi was covering the space, not leaving too much space in behind, going aggressive in the tackle when he needed to. That bit where he sort of slipped down on the ground and then got up straight away and made a tackle. Hey, Mengi. And this is what I'm saying. You're talking about, Donny van der Beek, man. Play him, you can't play him alongside Mata and say, this, that. Mengi's not a left back. But he shone yesterday. And he's 19. And he's playing alongside Matic at centre-back. This is what I mean, people. I think you're just being a bit generous with Van der Beek and just admit it. And I want Van der Beek to shine as well. I really want him to shine. I swear on my life I want him to shine. This is not a negative agenda against Van der Beek. But just take your Van der Beek tinted glasses off and just admit that he didn't do enough with that yesterday to force himself into this team when you've got a player like Mengi who comes on as a left back and isn't a left back against a team chasing European football and did pretty well. Okay? Just my opinion. Just wanted to say that. But yeah, Mengi, really, really impressed with him yesterday. I hope he gets a chance. I hope he gets a chance at centre-back. That's his actual position, right? That's really, he was fantastic. Ilanga, thought he struggled. Struggled, that's the wrong word to say. I don't think he shone by any stretch of the imagination compared to Mason Greenwood. We'll speak about him next. As I said, Zidane Iqbal became the first British South Asian to play for Manchester United. And that must be a proud moment for him and a proud moment for his family and a proud moment for all British South Asians. As I said, his heritage is Pakistani and Iraqi. And it's wicked. I enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed that. And I hope to see him again. As I said, he's been sort of shining for the under-23s this season. And he took his opportunity yesterday. Charlie Savage obviously came off the bench as well, much to Robbie Savage's delight. And you're saying, can we get Mengi to give Maguire some coaching? Geez, I think we probably need to, eh? But look, well done to him yesterday. Really well done to him yesterday. What's my next one here? This is Mason Greenwood. This is a nice little stat about Mason Greenwood. I hate other people's opinions, says Scott. See, I could, oh my God, it's really annoying. Too many comments coming in. Where's it gone? Oh, there we go. I could not disagree with this anymore. What I do is I take people's opinions on board and I don't just slam them down and tell you to get off the channel, do I? I speak about them. I run through them. I explain my opinion and why I might disagree. Hate other people, man. Would you say such silly comments like that? I'm going to pull you up. You make silly comments, I'm pulling you up on it. Silly as part. Simple as that. Simple as that. There's no hate anywhere. It's just I might disagree with you. Doesn't mean I hate them. But yeah, Mason Greenwood now has scored his 8th goal in major competition, European competition for Manchester United, the most of any player for the club before their 21st birthday. Big up Mason Greenwood. And that finish yesterday was absolutely dutty, wasn't it? I thought it was sort of like a falling backwards type volley yesterday, but no, it's like he went for the scissor kick, didn't he? And it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My God, proper Van Persie type finish. He's a proper Van Persie type player. Now, if I think I've got the quotes here, this is what Rangnick said about Greenwood after the game. He said, Rangnick. No, he didn't say Rangnick. That's his name. Greenwood has to develop physically, but technically for his age, he is a great player. My job is to develop him to make an athlete out of him. And if he manages to do that, he can become a regular player for the club. Hey, look, Greenwood, in my opinion, is so far ahead of Marcus Rashford in terms of his finishing ability. It's not even comparable. He can score with his left foot, with his right foot, with a delicate curled finish, with a powerful laced finish from outside the box, from inside the box, with headers, anything. He's got the full repertoire as a striker. Now, Rangnick called him a 9.5. He said, look, if Erling Haaland is like is an out-and-out number 9, someone who's a target man, someone who can play as a 2, Greenwood is a 9.5, somebody who can play as a striker, but also has the ability to come in from the wings. he is a bit of a different player, and I think that's why he's struggled to sort of settle into a complete position, because it's a bit like Marcus Rashford, right? Both of them, they can play on the wing, but they can also play up front, and you don't know which is which. In my opinion, Greenwood should grow into that number 9 and stay as a striker. I want to see him play centrally, and that is it. But look, I'm excited to see how he continues to develop. Remember how he started the season? He started fantastically. I think he scored in like 3 consecutive games, wasn't it? It was Southampton. It was Wolves. I'm failing the pub quiz. Damn it. But look, I'm excited about Greenwood. Greenwood's a fantastic player, and I'm excited about the fact that he's got Rangnick as a coach, because I think I don't know. I'm not sure if you feel the same. I'm sure you do. But I just like listening to Rangnick speak. Like after the game yesterday, hearing him speak about, what we did right tactically, what we did wrong tactically. It wasn't like there was no cliches. It was new, because the cliches I've had enough cliches over the last few years, right, from managers. That's something we can all agree with. And just to hear Rangnick speaking, and so openly, so eloquently and direct, it's quite refreshing, in my opinion. Victor, would I swap Martial if he leaves for Werner? I don't know about that one. I really don't. That's a good question. Honestly, I've got no idea. People complaining about Van der Beek forget how many opportunities we have given to Fred. Very, very different players, man. Very, very different players. Jarvis, Sam, you deserve credit for fronting other people's opinions in a respectful way. No, I hate other people's opinions. All right? This is United People's TV. It's not you, TV. It's my opinion, and my opinion is the only thing that matters. And if you disagree with it, get off my channel. I'm joking. I know. It's all about taking opinions on board, man. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And some people's opinions are dirty. Should clean it more. What else have we got to speak about? Oh, baby. Now we're going to get onto some good stuff here. We're going to be speaking about the Champions League draw opponents. Because we've got 6 potential opponents. And then you have to let me know in the comments who you want to draw, right? So we've got PSG, we've got Inter Milan, we've got Atletico Madrid, we've got Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, and Salzburg, right? You let me know in the comments, who do you want Manchester United to draw? I'll try and read other people. Other people? I'll try and read your opinions out when you fire them in, all right? Because for me, there's only one team I want out of that list. I swear to God, there's only one team I want. I want to see Ronaldo force Messi into tears in Paris. That's what I want to see. If we're looking at the best draw for Manchester United, there's a clear winner, Red Bull Salzburg, which I think is the youngest team ever to qualify for the Champions League. If I saw that stat was correct, I might have been wrong, but I think it was. And obviously, Ralf Rangnick would love to go and pump RB Salzburg. I'm sure he would. But mate, the idea of watching this PSG team's only going to be together for 1 year. It's going to be Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. And just to see that, just to see Poch's Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi team play and line up against Ragnick's Ronaldo, Bruno, and whoever else inside that team, I'd love that. I would absolutely love that. The team I would want to avoid, if I'm being completely honest, I don't want to play Atletico Madrid. I don't want to play them. Did you see their game against, who was it they were playing? Was it Zenit? I think it was Zenit. I can't remember. No, Zenit was Chelsea. I can't remember who they were playing. Anyway, they were crap for like the majority of the 90 minutes and ended up bloody winning 3-0. It's crazy. Matt, you're saying Atletico Madrid will be a nice test for the press. I mean, it would be a nice test, but why do I want to see Messi in tears? Well, that's a rhetorical question, because I want to see Ronaldo standing over him. So that's what I want to see. That would be lovely. You're saying PSG will be the most fun and always fun to give the dodgy owners a slap up their face. Anyone can come, says Millicent. We fear nobody. And you're saying it'll be one of the Portuguese teams. It always is. Robin, you want Sporting Lisbon. Carl, you want PSG. Roshan, you want PSG. Arufi, you want Atletico. But I'll be honest, none of your opinions matter. So I don't care what you think, and I don't care what you want. It's PSG and nothing else. Hey, look, it's a mixed bag, because some of you want the big team, some of you want PSG, some of you want the nice easy draw. Hey, look, if it is Salzburg, I'm going to have a lovely big grin on my face. If it's PSG, I'm going to have a lovely big grin. The only team out of those 6 that I genuinely wouldn't want to draw is Atletico Madrid. The rest of them, Inter Milan are not the same Inter Milan, right? Conte's left, Lukaku's left. I don't know who else left their club, but they're not the same Inter Milan anymore. Benfica, Lisbon, they would have their challenges, but Ronaldo would love to play Sporting Lisbon again in the Champions League. I think that would be nice for him. But yeah, do you think we'd knock out PSG if we played them? Type yes or no in the comments, because Victor, you think we'll get knocked out if we play PSG? You let me know in the comments. Type yes or no. If we got PSG, do you think we get knocked out? I think we'd steamroll. We wouldn't steamroll them, but it'll be amazing. And I'd love to go to Paris again. I was in Paris for the game, the 3-1, when we came from 3-1 down. I was in Paris, and I want to go back there on the Eurostar. The best Euro away day you can have is going to London, getting on the train at King's Cross with a bag full of beers, going on the Eurostar, just sitting there for 3 hours, getting drunk at like 8 in the morning. And all of a sudden you're in Paris. There's no airport to go through. There's nothing to go through. You're just in Paris and you have a great time. I want to do that again. So I hope that we get PSG. Yes, you think we'll get knocked out. Victor, you disagree. Liam, you disagree. Obviously not, says Matt. And you think we'd lose 50-50, says Azwan. Chris Ev, you think we'd get knocked out. Andy, you disagree. And Anuj, you don't know. Sitting on the fence. Hey, look, it will be a cracking game. And it's something I've said all along. It is, what is it now? December the 9th. Our game, whoever it is against, our game is not going to be until February the 16th, I think the first round is. Around about then. 2 months away. Very different ball game. We've got 2 months of football ahead of us. We're gonna be well into this Rangnick system by then. We're gonna be well drilled into it. I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out. I really am. But look, it's gonna be interesting. And you better be here on Monday joining me for the live Champions League draw. Watch along. I'm gonna do a watch along, people. That's the only watch alongs I'll ever do. But yeah, I'm gonna do a watch along on Monday. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing who we get in the round of 16. I'm excited for it, man. Rangnick properly taking us in European football. And if we can, I don't know. If we can play like we did against Crystal Palace after 1 week, what could we do after 2 months in European football? I'm excited for it. But there's another big talking point I'm going to move on to next. You don't want to miss this one. But before I do, one quick reminder to everybody. It's now, 16 days until Christmas. John Ewan, you still haven't claimed it. So we might be giving 2 of these away on Friday, which is tomorrow, by the way. That's how the weeks work. Friday comes after Thursday. So everybody who joins as a member, you get entered into the automatic weekly draw for this. A CR7 shirt. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning it, please, would you join on YouTube as a member or join on Facebook? Hit the support now on Facebook or the join button on YouTube. And there's a link in both descriptions. It's only a couple of quid a month. It's your way of supporting the channel. And as I said, I always keep putting money back into the channel to make it bigger and better. And trust me, I've got more giveaways coming. I'm going to be doing some announcements probably from like next week onwards. I'm also going to be planning, I'll let you know now, this would be a good one. I'm going to plan some sort of Christmas drinks where you can all call in. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be, but we'll all just get drunk and we'll all have a conversation. So that'll be good fun. I'll do that probably in the week building up to Christmas. I don't know when, but we call it a nice love stream, as Orr did famously yesterday, and that will never get forgotten about. But look, make sure you come in. The members, I love the members. Alex, I can see you down there, and I can see you as well. Or I can see you as well. Take off, Ian. There's plenty. It's a good community we're building here, man. So come and be part of it. But look, let's move on to the final talking point. As I said, it's a big one. This was coming from yesterday, and this was coming from Mike Vavage. Vavage. I'll go for Mike Vavage. If you don't know who Mike Vavage is, he works for De Telegraph. And if you don't know who De Telegraph are probably the most reliable source inside Holland for Dutch news and Ajax. And he is saying yesterday that Manchester United and Manchester City are both interested in, you guessed it, signing Erik ten Hag as their manager. Now, what do you think about that? What do you think about Ten Hag? We spoke. I could have gone with this as the headline for today's video, but I spoke about Ten Hag yesterday, didn't I? And I thought, you know what, Sam? I think it might be a slight overkill to be speaking about Ten Hag again in a headline of the video when you did it yesterday. So I didn't. So I kept it just for the end of this one. Don't say I don't treat you well. But look, Ten Hag, I personally don't. I mean, Pep Pep, I think his contract, let me check. I think his contract runs out at the end of next year, doesn't it? Pep Guardiola, manager profile. Let's find out. His contract runs out at the end of next year. So do you think there's a chance that Man City could come in and get Ten Hag to replace Pep, and that Manchester United might miss out on him? Let me know what you think about that. City does not want us to sign Ten Hag, says Jaff. City can bugger off. They've already got Pep. As I said, Pep and Ten Hag's contracts expire at the same time. Let me go down here. What if Guardiola comes to United, says Lancer? Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be happening. And let's go down here and see what else you're saying. City, said Anthony. Yeah, City indeed. As I said, Guardiola and Ten Hag's contracts with City and Ajax both expire at the same time. So technically, City could just have Guardiola, let him leave, and then just let Ten Hag come in immediately, replace Baldy with Baldy. Would that suit them? I don't know. Let's have a look. Ten Hag will be a red devil, says Raden. Well, let's hope you're right, my friend. Let's hope you're right. Let's go up here. Get him on board, says Calvin. I agree with that. You know that. Piss off City, says Tate. Don't sit on the fence there. Man City have Guardiola, as I said. He leaves in the same summer. We can't play them in this round, nor can we play them. No, sorry, you must be talking to each other in the comments. You don't want to see me at Christmas. No, I'm really sure. I'm not sure I do, actually. But let's see. I think it'll be fun to do something a bit more informal like that. And it's something I've said as well about the pre-match shows in the United Legacy Arms. And that's why I might be moving it towards a members-only situation, because I kind of want to make it a bit more informal with the pre-match shows. I think, look, with the pre-match shows, there's already so much going out on YouTube. There's too much already out there at that time. So I'd like to offer something a bit different. And maybe that might be taking it behind the scenes. I'm not sure yet. But look, I'm going to wrap this one up for today. Ten Hag, I'm going to be speaking about him plenty over the next couple of months. You know that for sure. I want him in badly. I want Van der Sar in too. We spoke about the dream being on yesterday. Van der Sar's not flirting with us, but he's basically saying, look, at some point I will work for United. Hopefully that'll be with Ten Hag as well. Yes, please. Right, so we ran through everything there that was said by Rangnick yesterday. We spoke about Wan Bissaka, and we had a pretty, not intense, wrong word. We had a proper debate about Van der Beek, and I gave my opinions. Although I hated your opinions, so please never send your opinions into United People's TV again, because it's not your name on the channel, it's my name. This is my channel, and my opinion is the only opinion that counts. All right. So just remember that when you leave in your comments. I don't want your opinions in there. But apart from that, thank you very much for joining in today. I'm probably going to have my predicted 11 for the Norwich game out today. So it's got a couple of days so we can speak about it. As I said, make sure you join as a member. Anybody, by the way, who has joined as a member, you're not just entering this week as a draw. You're entered every single week. Every member who's already been a member for the last few months on United People's TV, you're automatically entered into every draw anyway. It's not just for new members. It's not like going to get the best deals from Sky when it's new members only. It's open to all members. Right. Here we go, ladies and gents. I'm going to wrap it up now because I'm starting to waffle. Hey, I enjoyed the game last night. It might have been a little bit frustrating overall how he played, but I like seeing the youngsters. I like seeing the risk that he took by leaving so many players out. I think it was a decision which will pay off, because I think he's learned far more about his squad from that game last night than he would have done if we just won 3-0 with a starting 11. And I think that's important, certainly in the first couple of weeks in charge of Manchester United. But thank you very much for all joining in this morning. Make sure you join me tomorrow, because it's a Friday stream. So we get the winners announced for this one. And John Ewan, seeing as you haven't turned up, my friend, unfortunately, I think it looks like you're missing out on it. We're going to be giving 2 away tomorrow. Wow. Jeez, Samter is back. Take it easy, everybody. Make sure you check out the starting 11 later on, and I'll be here tomorrow morning, as I always am. Take it easy. Take it easy again. I've said take it easy like 6 times.